Hello, I'm Yogi, and it's been a while since I uploaded, but I'm gonna try and finish this series if I can. Basically, the whole series is me making custom Yu-Gi-Oh archetypes for Hitman Reborn characters, specifically the characters of the 10th generation Vongla family. I've already done Goku, and Ryohei, so now we're gonna be on to Mukuro and Chrome here with the deck I made for them. Basically, I'm just gonna go over the cards, what they do, who they're based off of. Then at the end, I'm gonna demonstrate some combos that the deck can do. But yeah, let's get into it with the Illusionist archetype. First, we have Illusionist of Mist. Level 4 Dark Monster, Illusion type, 1600 attack and 1900 defense. If this card is summoned, you can add one Illusionist monster from your deck to your hand, and on a once per turn quick effect, if your opponent activates a card that would destroy a card or multiple cards you control, you can negate that card's activation. Lastly, if this card in your graveyard was destroyed this turn, you can special summon it during the end phase. And you can only use each effect once per turn. So it's pretty obvious who this is. It's Mukuro. And a quick little thing on the card. I know it's an illusion type, and the illusion type is the newest type in the game. And so far, I think all of them except for the normal monster has like the effect where if they battle, neither monster involved in that battle is destroyed. And I was thinking about doing that, but I figured why not just do something different instead of just putting that same line on every single illusion card, At the same time, I also like the Lattice effect where if he's just, destroyed, he could just come back because of the whole reincarnation thing he has. So him not being able to be destroyed by battle kind of slows that down. Anyway, the next card is the Illusionist Hitman, level 4 Dark Monster, Warrior this time, 1600 attack, 1500 defense. And if you can't tell from the art, this is based on Chikusa, part of the Kokuyo gang, Let's get to the effect. Right? So first, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you control an Illusionist of Mist, and once per turn, you can target a card in the same column as this card and destroy that card. And each effect's on a once per turn. Pretty simple card, not much to it. Next one, we have the Illusionist Chimera, Dark level 4. 1800 attack, 800 defense, and this one's based on Kin. So, like the last card, you can special summon it from your hand if you control an Illusionist of Mist. And once per turn, you can declare a type, and this card will become that type until your next standby phase. And if this card battles an opponent's monster with the same type as it, then you can destroy that monster it battles. You can only use each effect once per turn as well. So, obviously both Kin and Chikusa have the special summon effect, which I think works since they're basically the closest people to Mukuro. Unless you want to count Chrome because, they're kind of like sharing the body kind of thing, I guess they're physically closest, in a non-romantic way, I guess. But Kin and Chikusa definitely, they've been with them since childhood, so I figured they should have that effect, and then both of them have effects that I think just work well with them, Kin has those little animal cartridges, which comes with the whole changing type thing, and then Chikusa's Hitman, so, he just destroys cards. Next card is the Illusionist Apprentice, level 3 Dark Monster, Illusion type again, and 1200 attack. You can discard this card, add one Illusionist monster from your graveyard to your hand. Your opponent can only target this face-up card with attacks, and once per turn, when this card is attacked, you can negate that attack, and each effect's on a once per turn. I'm sure everyone recognizes this lovable apple head here as Fran, who becomes Mukuro's apprentice in the manga, and in the future arc basically said that he was taught by Mukuro as well. So I kind of wanted to put the fact that, although a lot of people kind of just go try to hit Fran as an effect here, which is why he can only be targeted for an attack. And next we have the Illusionist Vessel, level 3 Dark, Illusion type again, 1400 attack, 400 defense. And of course, this one is Chrome, who will be sharing the deck with Mukuro. You can special summon this card from your hand or deck by sending one Illusionist of Mist you control to the graveyard. If this card is summoned, you can add one Illusionist spell or trap from your deck to your hand. And once per turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon an Illusionist of Mist from your graveyard. And each effect's on a hard once per turn. Now, there aren't too many cards in the game that let you summon from deck, so I thought this one would have been an interesting way of doing it, since again, both Mukuro and Chrome share a body. So this one is where, you have to send an Illusionist of Mist if you want to summon her from the deck or hand. So almost like a switching places, which is also where the last effect comes in by, banishing her to bring him back onto the field. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool design for a card. Next we have Mukuro. Of course, this is based on the box weapon, who was named by Chrome Mukuro. It is a Link 2 Dark Wing Beast, 1400 attack. Alright, needs 2 effect monsters, including an Illusionist monster, and this card is treated as an Illusionist monster while on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is link summoned, you can target one Illusionist card in your graveyard, place it on the bottom of the deck, then you can draw one card. Finally, if this card points to an Illusionist of Mist or the Illusionist Vessel monster, your opponent must play with their hand revealed during your turn, and you can only use the effect Mukuro once per turn. Now that last effect is a reference to the cambio forma that they have. Damon Spade's devil lenses, which is like said to see through all illusions. So basically I just take that as your opponent just plays with their hand revealed, but only during your turn. So it's probably not going to do anything unless you're going against Vanquish Soul and they for some reason haven't activated their Holly Sue or any other quick effect reveal effects, you know. But it does give you hand knowledge as well, so that's also pretty good. Next up we have Gen 10 Illusionist, Mukuro and Chrome, level 7 Dark Illusion, Fusion Monster, 2300 attack, 3000 defense. And obviously this is referencing the cambio forma from the manga. To make this, you need the Illusionist of Mist or the Illusionist Vessel and a Mukuro. And this card is also treated as Illusionist of Mist. First must be special summon from your extra deck by sending the above cards you control to the graveyard. Monsters your opponent controls can only attack Illusionist monsters that are in the same column as them. And once per turn, quick effect, you can target cards your opponent controls up to the number of Illusionist monsters you control with different names and return them to the hand. And you can only use that effect once per turn. Now, I think this is fine. I think it's like not really any way you could translate Mukuro's manga combo format into a card effect. I mean, what does it do? It just makes illusions real? Maybe? I don't even think that's what it does. The illusions just become more powerful. I don't know how you put that into a card like this. So I kind of just came up with the effect to return monsters to the hand. But one thing I'm not 100% sure on is this card is also treated as Illusionist of Mist. Now, because of that, there are cards like that, like how Hungry Burger and Angry Burger are in the game. Angry Burger is always treated as Hungry Burger. So that means you can only have 3 total of each card. So you can't have 3 hungry and then 3 angry. You have to have like 2 angry, 1 hungry, 2 hungry, 1 angry, you know. So I don't know if that rule affects this card because it is a fusion monster, you know, it's in the extra deck. So I'm not 100% sure if that rule affects it. If it does, then I just change it to it's treated as Illusionist of Mist while on the field, maybe in the graveyard too. I don't know how that ruling works. Well, if someone does know, leave a comment down below and let me know. Now we're going to be going to the spell card. First we have the field spell, Yugioh land. This card is treated as an illusionist card, so you can search it out. When this card is activated, you can add 1 illusionist monster from your deck to your hand, and you can only use that effect of this card once per turn. While this card is face up, you can only control illusionist monster. And once per turn, if you control an illusionist monster, you can target 1 card your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn. Alright. So first of all, the art of the card, I wanted to make it when Mukuro, Ken, and Chikuso were taking over the Yugioh school and like defeated all the students, I guess, and like, you know, became the leaders of it. So that's what it's supposed to be, all the students defeated. Second of all, the search effect's on a hard once per turn. The last one is on a soft once per turn. So you could activate 2 Yugioh lands in a turn and negate 2 cards your opponent controls. But again, it will only happen the first time you activate the card. 6 Paths to Reincarnation, a continuous spell. And as you can see, there's a lot of words on this because you'll see, but like I really wanted to reference the eye from the anime, so I brought this on myself. This card is also treated as an illusionist card, so you can search it. If you do not control face-up illusionist mist, destroy this card. Once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided die and apply one of the following effects depending on the result until the end of the next turn. If you roll a 1, your opponent cannot attack monsters you control. 2, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls. 1 illusionist of mist monster you control, gain that monster's effect. 3, on a quick effect, you can special summon an illusion beast token, level 3, 1000 attack, 1000 defense, beast type obviously. 4, an illusionist of mist monster you control gains 1000 attack and an additional attack during the battle phase. 5, 1 illusionist of mist monster you control is unaffected by your opponent's card effect. And 6, once per turn quick effect, you can target a card your opponent controls and flip it face down. And you can only control 1 face up 6 Paths of Reincarnation. So obviously it's based off his 6 Paths of Reincarnation, which is tied to his eye, which is in the artwork here. Each number represents the number and the realm that he used. So 1 is the Naraka path, which is basically him making illusions. 2 is the Preda path, which allows Mukuro to use the abilities of anyone he possesses. 3, which is the Tiragioni path, which is also known as the animal path, summons animals, so it comes into the token thing. 4 is the Ashura path, which is where he gets stronger. 5, which is the human path, which was considered to be the most dangerous one, which just makes him extremely strong, you know. And then 6 is the Deva path, or heaven path, and it lets him control the mind of others. But yeah, I took all 6 things, tried to put them in there, and then made this extremely wordy card. Next we have a quick play spell, Climax at Yugioh, also treated as an illusionist card. If an illusionist of mist monster you control was destroyed by your opponent, you can target a monster in your opponent's graveyard and special summon to your field. In defense, you can only activate 1 of these per turn. First of all, the art, obviously it's supposed to be Mukuro versus Suna there, you know, even though his head's not specifically on fire, his body is kind of, in a way. But the effect is just supposed to be referencing how Mukuro, after he kind of offed himself, you know, he was possessing Suna's allies' bodies. Now we're on to traps. Continuous trap is first. Illusionist Cell. Once returned, when your opponent targets an illusionist monster you control for an attack, you can change the attack target to a monster your opponent controls instead. If this face-up card was destroyed by your opponent, you can special summon one illusionist monster from your graveyard in defense position. You can only use each effect of this card once per turn. By the name in the picture, you can tell these were a Mukuro cellmates when he was in his normal jail cell. That's Birds there on the right, and then it's MM on the left there with her clarinet. Next we have the normal trap, Illusionist Puppetry. You can only activate this card if you control face-up illusionist monster. Target one monster your opponent controls, equip this card to it, and during your standby phases, take control of the equipped monster until the end of your turn. If you do not control face-up illusionist monster, destroy this card. You can only activate one of these per turn. So this is supposed to be referencing how Mukuro, when he was a kid, was possessing Lancia to kill the family that took Mukuro in, and that's reflected in the effect, how you can like take control of it, but only during your turn, and then after that, you know, it's given back to your opponent, like how Lancia didn't know he was being possessed for a while. All right, and the last trap here is a normal one, Illusionist Imprisonment. If you control face-up illusionist monster, target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, banish those cards, and then banish one illusionist monster you control face down. You can only activate 1 Illusionist Imprisonment per turn. So this is obviously referencing how Mukuro was put into an even harder to escape jail cell, which was, you know, a septic tank while also being put in a straitjacket that also had chains wrapped around it. And yeah, that is all the cards right now. So next I'm going to show you some combos. Alright, so here we are on Dueling Book with the custom card. Just to start off, I'm just going to try with a little 1 card, you know, aka the Illusionist the Mist. So say we normal summon him, obviously activate the effect, we just search out any illusionist monster. Let's add again, or excuse me, let's add Chimera. We use the effect here, we'll just special summon him out. We're gonna send him to grave because then we can summon out Illusionist Vessel. We're gonna use her effect to add the field spell, activate that, add any illusionist monster. We'll add me in here, and we're gonna send these 2 off for a link summon here into Mukuro. Use the effect here, could take any one illusionist monster from the graveyard to the bottom of the deck, and then we draw 1. Woo! Look at that. We're gonna use her effect here. We're gonna banish her from grave, de-special summon Illusionist Mist from graveyard, and then of course since the Mukuro is pointing to him, that means your opponent's hand would now be revealed, and since we control him, we can also special summon out, you know, Illusionist Hitman. It's said here, if for some reason your opponent did something like, I don't know, a canine card, you can do this to negate, you know, to negate the monster, whatever rank 5 they made. Or you can just put this in the column and then just target the card and destroy it, you know, if it doesn't change. Or if something happens to where it's like a quick effect pop stat, and you can activate this from hand, get a card from their graveyard. But yeah, let's just reset that there. All right, this time let's just say we start with these 2, you know, we're gonna do classic, normal, doodad, we'll add Chimera as well. We're just gonna special summon both of these guys out here. Boom, boom, send the graves, her vessel here, use her effect, we're gonna activate that, and illusionist monster, what the friend gonna do, link here, you grave, the effect, again, bottom of the deck, raw 1 here. Then again here you could just discard this, add them back, so that way you can keep her in the grave, you know, as we probably should always do. And it's her to special summon him. Boom. Hand knowledge is here now. And then how about here we will send these 2 to grave, since we now know what was in his hand. The Gen 10 illusionist here. Then here we can use his effect, of course, to declare. Guard him with the Illusionist Mist back to hand. And then we can also activate our continuous spell, because since he will be treated as the Illusionist Mist, either forever or while only on the field. Still wonder if I need to change that. But since he counts as that, we can use this card's effect here. Let's see what we get actually. We're gonna roll a 2. So your opponent, and I see, but you can turn 1 monster your opponent controls, and then I get that monster effect. Okay, so this does nothing. So this does nothing going first, unless again they summon the monster, you know, canine, whatever, make it up rank 5. You could do that, take its effect. Granted, I don't know, if it was like Nash Knight, then I guess you can't really do anything, because it's what you I wonder, it probably doesn't work that way. But it would be funny if you could take a Nash Knight's effect and be like, oh yeah, I'll take your monster, put it under my fusion monster as material. But yeah, so not the best roll on this card, but you know, I knew not every one of these effects was going to be good going first either way. But yeah. Alright, so let's try some little test hands out here. Okay, my main, whatever. Let's just activate this first, you know. 10 keys in this deck because you can add a Beast Warrior. And of course, our Beast Warrior is going to be Chimera. Well, I guess, yeah. I also have Rhoda in here because, you know, add a warrior. Granted, we already have the warrior in hand because all the other ones are illusions, but it'll just Why not? We'll just add a second one. You know, you can only summon them once per turn from the hand. You know, gonna activate Yugioh land here, search again, normal summon, and you know, use the effect to search any monster. Would add Illusionist Vessel. We might as well just add Fran here. Special summon, send the grave, summon vessel, effect to search any of the spells or traps. We'll search. We're gonna search Illusionist Imprisonment. Special summon effect. We're gonna put Hitman to the bottom. Draw, and we draw the other one. Okay, that's the whole reason why I put them into the deck. But whatever. I'm gonna set to 2. This card, by the way, is basically a illusion support. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon an illusion monster from your hand or graveyard, and if you do, return the attacking monster to the hand. And then, if a face-up illusion monster you control leaves the field by opponent's card effect, while this card is in the graveyard except during damage step. You can banish this card, special summon one illusion monster from your hand or graveyard. So basically it's just there to bring out a Mukuro or Chrome. And speaking of, honestly, we'll just, why not? We'll send these two, special summon him. He's an illusion monster. Then we can banish her, bring back the Mukuro here. So again, we have a bounce 2. We have a banish 2, while also banishing one of our own monsters here, which would have to be, you know, one of these two. Either way, we don't really want to banish them face down, but you know, one's gotta go. I could use Illusion of Suppressors here to go back to Kin or Chimera, but we won't do that. Tenki's doing nothing. Then of course we have this card. It's really just for like Mirror Force, you know, for battle damage. Or excuse me, for attacking. And even if they pop it, you know, it still has a graveyard effect. And don't forget too, I keep forgetting this. He has, you know, the quick effect, negate a card that would destroy a card you control. So boom, look at that. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad. I feel like it's very tame, I guess, but I don't think it's that bad. This hand sucks. Maybe we try one more, maybe. What do we do here? We'll activate Yugioh land. If you like this, it's what we do. We always gonna grab if we don't already have them. This is from hand or deck, right? Yeah, I feel like especially from hand or deck. The effect here, we're gonna search. It doesn't matter. Search, summon. I don't have to use this. I can still go from the deck. Honestly, that's probably better to do that way. Effect to search a spell trap. You already got climax and a cellmate. Then you're too good. Grab the spell again. Why not? You know, arguably you should probably be grabbing imprisonment, but you know, let's have some fun. Gonna link here into Morel. Sending these two. Effect bottom of the deck to draw 1. All right, cool. I could add, as well as one per turn, I could add 1 back to hand, but obviously banish, summon, hand knowledge here. We're not gonna fuse. We'll just activate that. Let's roll the dice. Let's see what we get this time. Something good, please. 4. That's the summon effect, I believe, right? Monster effect? No. 4 is he will gain 1,000 attack and additional attack during the battle phase. Okay, so also useless going first, but hey, it's 2,600 attack. If I put him into attack mode, then you know, it'd be pretty hard to get over. But yeah, then we'll set cellmates, you know, if they want to battle here. But then climax here, in case they destroy, we can summon a monster from their graveyard. And then yeah, obviously you can do other stuff, you know. I don't know what other cards you might put into this deck with Illusions, Warriors, and Beast Wars, and then, you know, Tenki, Rhoda. I don't think there's any Rhoda for Illusions monsters right now, but still. But yeah, these were the cards. These were some combos you can do with them. They're available to use on Dueling Book if you want to try them out for yourself, you know. Maybe play against friends or whatever. But yeah, leave a comment on what you think of the cards, you know, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want. I'm gonna see if I can get the rest of these archetype videos out really quickly, you know, so hopefully that can happen. So I finally finish this little series. But yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next video. All right, bye.